Another day, another fight on Fishtank. Actually, another two fights, but we are going to take a look at one right now. It is going to be Jackie versus Trish. And if you don't know who Jackie is an OnlyFans model who reportedly ended up paying to be in the Fishtank house. It was no, it was not Fish BNB. It was actually Finge, I believe, the Finge fish toy, where you pay a certain amount of money. I believe it was like $10,000 actually, and you get to go into the tank and go on a date with one of the fish. That is the report. That's the report I got. But there was a bit of an issue. I tried to look at this on stream, but it's kind of difficult because Airsoft Fatty was walking around with no clothing on. But somebody did a really big favor for me. A man named Devlin ended up editing the footage so that Airsoft Fatty could not be seen. That's why there's this right here, is because I figured I'd go ahead and I'd show you some of the things that he did when he ended up editing everything down. So with that said, here's Jackie, here's Trish. We're gonna get going. Okay, so here we are. This is where the fight's about to start, and we are on half speed because that's how we've been doing things, and it's been working out pretty well. So let's go ahead and get going. So, by the way, this is Trish and this is Jackie. If you didn't already know, you probably could tell. So, touch the gloves. Both have their hands up right now, which is alright. Kind of just staring each other down. Across from Trish, and Jackie is just sort of pushing right now. She's not really punching. 1-2 from Trish doesn't really land. She's kind of throwing at the gloves. She needs to throw past the gloves. Another cross, and that cross from Jackie ends up landing. So they're kind of hand fighting right now, and that's what happens when girls tend to box, specifically girls who haven't boxed. That was nice, though. Jackie ends up putting a hand on top of Trish's hand to block it, basically to stop her from moving it, and then she comes over the top. Trish basically did the same thing, but she didn't quite make it, and Jackie returns, but I don't think that quite landed either. So Jackie's switching stances right now. Trish trying to come over the top with a cross. Trish isn't really trying to land from the look of it. She's just kind of trying to throw something in her face, and she's got to be a little bit more aggressive. So they're kind of clashing right now, which is a little bit weird to see from people in righty stances. Jackie goes for that same bat the hand down and go over the top. It's interesting, you know. It's funny to see people's instincts, and when their instincts end up turning out to be like correct or not terrible when it comes down to it. Got Alex Schultz here. So they're both kind of being tentative right now. You see Trish is turning her head, and luckily there wasn't a ton of power. Ooh, there was some power in that, and a little bit of power in that too. I was saying Trish turned her head, and luckily there wasn't a lot of power, but she did get hit. You don't want to get hit in the back of the head like that. Again, they're just kind of standing there. They're throwing one or two shots each at a time, but in between that, there's just a lot of sort of staring at each other. Cross down the middle from Trish doesn't land. Ooh, that was a good blow. There was a couple of glancing blows followed by a punch that landed square. You see, here's Airsoft Fatty right here. Here's the editing. Thank you, Devlin. So there's a lot of looking right now, and what I'd like to see from really both of them, but especially Trish, because I am rooting for Trish in this. We've known Trish longer, all right? And Trish doesn't, Trish isn't an OnlyFans like weirdo as well, you know. What I'd like to see from her, though, is I'd like to see her going first, meaning she doesn't wait for her to attack like that. She's just kind of sitting there waiting for Jackie to start throwing hands, and then maybe she'll do something. Maybe. I'd like to see Trish be a little bit more aggressive, move in, and really see, like right there, Jackie starts moving in, she throws a cross, and then she also tries to counter off of another cross that Jackie is throwing. In addition to that, ooh, that landed pretty cleanly. I'd also like to see them both throwing jabs a little bit more. You see, she gets hit and she turns around, right? You can't do that. Jackie was being nice. Actually, probably more tentative than anything, a little bit scared. You see, that kind of got through, but at least she didn't turn away that time. She ended up getting her hand up. Ooh, see, there was a jab from Jackie. She set that hook up with a jab, and it worked out pretty well. Nice. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see from Trish is when Jackie marches into range, she throws something, at the very least, to just keep her off. That didn't quite land. That landed. I don't think there was a lot of power behind it. Neither of them really have that much power, though. I didn't expect a knockout blow from these girls when I watched this live. You know, it just wasn't really going to happen like that. Not only do they not have that much power, they don't really have that explosive, that ability to produce explosive movements in that way. All right, so that's the end of round one. If I had to give it to somebody, I would give it to Jackie. It was on the close side, but I don't think it was close enough as to where I am unsure, right? It wasn't bad. Trish had her moments. A few ended up slipping through, but it was Jackie pushing the pace and Jackie landing more basically the entire round. And it's like I said, what I want to see from Trish is her going first. When she sees Jackie set, meaning, you know, she sinks her weight down in order to try and explode into maybe that batting the hand down, coming over the top with a straight or a hook move she's been finding success with. I want to see Trish throwing jabs out there. Even just one jab will throw Jackie off, and she'll have to start all over again. In addition to that, Jackie's defense isn't really... neither of their defense is really that good at the end of the day. If Trish is just a little bit more aggressive, she throws jabs, she takes the initiative, and she starts actually really trying to sneak punches through, she's going to end up landing them. There's no way she's not going to. What's losing Trish this fight right now is just her unwillingness to fight offensively. She's a little bit too defensive. She needs to be more proactive. And not to make excuses right now, but to my understanding, Trish actually did go through an hour-long weightlifting or otherwise just conditioning workout before this that apparently Jackie did not go through. Jackie is actually in better shape than Trish, but for one thing, she didn't go through the workout, and for the other thing, I'll be honest with you, the way I'm seeing it right now, that conditioning that Jackie may have, or I don't even think it's conditioning, I think she just looks good. I think she's just in good shape from weightlifting and things like that. It's really not giving her much of an advantage. You know, they're both kind of even. It's just that Jackie is, like I've been saying, more active. She's been going first. She's been taking the initiative. But with that said, let's go ahead and get to round two. All right, so we got round two right here. And again, I want to thank Devlin for doing this. I really want to thank him. I love Chris, and I don't ever want to try and change him or anything like that. But when I was looking at this the first time, I was like, dude, man, I was not gonna lie, I was kind of stressing about it. So thank you so much, Devlin, again. But let's go ahead and press play. All right, so another glove touch. So Jackie is switching stances right now. You see she was in a lefty stance, now she's in a righty stance. And you see, there it is again. She tries to bat the hand down and go over the top. Now, none of those punches are really landing, but she's trying to put Trish away. You can tell she's kind of had enough, and she wants to see if she can finish this right now. Ooh, that looked like a nice punch. That looked like it snuck through, and it landed with a little bit of force. And Trish is doing a smart thing right here. If she's in some trouble, she's not liking it, she's clinching. You know, reset the action, get a break. Sam tried to break it, but they already broke on their own. You see, that kind of slipped off a little bit, but it was still it landed kind of flush a little bit. That was more of a push, that right hook that ended up getting through, and then none of those really landed. And Trish, again, trying to clinch up a little bit. Not a bad idea on her end. Again, I want to see that initiative out of Trish that we're just not getting. She's just kind of waiting in the corner for Jackie to do something, that hook kind of sort of landed. Again, it was more of a push. You know, there's kind of like when you push into something and then there's impact, and that you're going for impact. And every now and again one gets through, but it's less that there's actual impact and more that like it just kind of hits and like extends into. So jab cross hook from Jackie. That was actually pretty nice. I like seeing that. You know, she got Trish to shell up with that jab cross, right? Which was actually good on Trish. She didn't look away like that with her hands down. But then she came around with the hook, meaning Jackie came around with the hook. That was actually, I like that on both of them. You know, of course, Trish came out on the losing end, but she at least did the right thing. Cross to the body from Trish. Again, I want to see more jabs. I just want to see more jabs. It wasn't a bad idea going to the body. She could go to the body to try and get Jackie to lower her hands and then fake to the body and go up top. I think she might be able to do that. Ooh, a nice lead hook from Jackie, followed by a cross that slips through as well. Again, smart move from Trish. She's in trouble. She clinches up, forces a break, stalls for a little bit. There's a bit of a wardrobe malfunction going on here. There's a crock that came loose. So, I mean, as of right now, not really much is different, you know? In fact, it seems kind of like a worse repeat. In fact, it seems like kind of a worse repeat of round one. So, Jackie moving in. That was a decent hook that ended up getting through. Again, just one jab from Trish. That's all I'm looking for. Just one jab. Trish moving back because, again, she's not there to fight in the way that Jackie seems to be right now. I guess that was kind of a jab, but the thing is she reversed it. She went cross jab. I want to see, you see, and there it is again. She goes cross jab. She's very right hand heavy because that's probably the hand she writes with, probably the hand she wipes her ass with, etc., etc., right? I want to see jab cross. Ooh, that landed kind of flush. I'll bet that one hurt her a little bit. You see Trish is kind of winding up a little bit. Yeah, and she tried to wind up on a hook. It would have been nice to see a hook, but she can't wind up like that. That first one kind of slipped through, but it seemed like more of a glancing blow. That second punch she threw did not land. Again, winding up on her cross, it's going to be real easy to see coming. Now she's winding up on, basically she switched to a lefty stance and winded up on another cross. And here she is winding up on another. She can't do that, you know? For one thing, she's got to kind of know who she is. She doesn't have that knockout power. That landed kind of like behind the ear. Again, kind of a glancing blow, but the thing is, when you're getting hit here, a glancing blow can still hurt. A couple of those landed flush. That one landed pretty well as well. That one, yeah. Again, hands need to be up. You know, she can't be looking away. That one got right through. Yeah. And is that yep, that seems to be the end of the fight. So I would assume there was going to be a round three. But there was not. I do remember that from yesterday. I mean, right now, I don't even think a round three would have been necessary unless they decided they wanted to see if there would end up being a knockout of some kind. Jackie won both rounds, and she won them pretty handily. The first one was a little bit closer, but she pulled ahead. The second one, there was no doubt in my mind she ended up winning. Now, look, I don't want to make excuse after excuse for Trish or anything like that, but I actually do think I remember her mentioning that the workout had an effect on her. I think she said that her arms were like jelly halfway through the fight or something like that. So, you know, that could be part of the reason why she wasn't as tenacious as she probably could have been. But coulda, woulda, shoulda at the end of the day. They both did decent. I liked some of the things I saw out of both of them. Jackie did very well as well. She came in, and I mean, I'm sure she knew kind of what to expect. She claimed to have been watching up to at least a certain point. But to go in and you don't know anybody at all. You just kind of are getting used to everybody as time goes on. And then to have headgear slapped on you along with gloves, and it turns out you got to fight somebody who everybody knows, by the way. Like, everybody knows Trish. She's the known entity, the known quantity in this, right? Sam is going to be a little bit more affectionate towards her. Same thing with Frank Hassel, even though Frank Hassel's job is to make everyone's life hell. Everybody's familiar with her, and therefore there is a bit of a rapport built up. And Jackie comes into this situation not really knowing anyone. In addition to that, she's also basically introduced as the OnlyFans girl. And she holds her own, and she doesn't just hold her own, she does very well, right, considering the situation. So, good on her. And, yeah, I mean, we'll see if Trish ends up going again. I think by now Jackie is out of the tank. I could be wrong about that. I got to check in. But we'll see if Trish goes again, because Trish versus Tay could be a fight to make. But I honestly would like to see Trish get a little bit more training if she was going to take on Tay. Either that, or maybe if there's a late freeloader to the game, a late bloomer, let's say, who ends up going in, and it happens to be a girl. Maybe we could set that up in some form, but we'll see about that. For now, I think she just needs to get a little bit of rest. With that said, though, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and also sub for more. If you have anything to say, leave a comment down below. And if you have anything to ask me, hit me up on Instagram, @ScottSullivanMMA. I like making question and answer videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, good luck out there.